Okay. And there was an article that came out years ago, about 2018. You had to dig for it though, that said that the elites that ran California were holding back the water. And that's why there was a drought. That area is a desert. California, the whole area, Texas, what from Texas to California all the way up to Arizona. They literally had claims to the water and they were holding it back.
They held back so much water, and that very company, I think, owns Aquafina.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. And they held back water. You know, when they had those fires in California,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
those people didn't release that water.
Mm. What I feel compelled to share with the family is that you're going to hear of lakes and water springing up from the ground.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the earth itself is being reborn, and
Come on.
that's why we had so many earthquakes and
Mm.
volcano eruptions all over the world, because
Okay.
it was a rebirth. It still is a rebirth. We haven't seen the worst of it yet, because you're probably going to have something in Yellowstone,
Mm.
and you're probably going to have something along the New Madrid Fault and the San Andreas Fault.
Mm.
But it's going to be a rebirth.
Okay. And we're going to turn back to a tropical planet the way it started and the way it was intended to
Yeah.
be.
They're already, with the design of all these new buildings and everything that you see in these major cities. Uh,
Yes.
they're incorporating greenery into their designs. So you're now seeing hotels that have
Mm.
vegetation coming off the balcony and stuff like that, just to give it a different kind of look. But
Mm-hmm.
even on the in the atrium of the hotels, you're seeing more vegetation, because everything has to go back to nature.
Oh, I love that. Another thing you shared with me, I want to say it was in the summer. You were telling me that in all the major cities they are doing restructuring. You were like, specifically downtown, but you were like, it's in all major cities. I was like, oh no, because it's not happening in Jacksonville. You said look it up, and I looked it up. I was like, oh my God, they are doing a lot of restructuring and new design with plants and parks. I couldn't believe it. I hadn't even heard about it.
Well,
Redesigning downtown. Hmm.
here's the kicker, because most of the high-rise buildings in every major city, most of them are probably 80% vacant. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
You heard the phrase that the lights on but nobody home.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the lights on but nobody home. And
Interesting.
they got some people there just to kind of give you the semblance of some activity going on. But most
Mm.
of those buildings are 80% vacant. Most of them. Now, why am I saying that? Because when they start tearing down these projects, and they are going to tear them down,
Okay.
those people have to go somewhere, to that
Right.
deluxe apartment in the sky.
When they tear down the housing projects. Oh,
Yeah. And they have to
interesting.
go somewhere, because part of your your reward is not going to be y'all put me out the projects to put me in some more projects. Y'all gonna, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna put me out of these projects to elevate me. So to elevate, you're gonna get on the elevator to go all the way up to whatever floor, and you're gonna have your heaven on earth.
Mm. This is the first time I ever heard somebody say it like you said, reward. I always
Yeah.
just say reward. Reward. Mm. This almost sound like, well, recompense. It almost sound like it was a gift that's happening to you again. Do it over. I don't know.
It's time to, well, just like reparations, repair,
Repair. Mm.
right? But you don't
Yes.
want, you do not want reparations. That's not what we want. We want restoration.
There's a difference, I suppose.
Huge difference, because see, it's like this. If it's reparations, that means that the government says, okay, well, we'll give you $1 million for your pain and suffering. But after that $1 million, and we know you're going to spend it right back with us, because you're going to go buy you a Cadillac and you're going to buy you a house and all this other stuff. And we're the ones in control of all those industries. So we gave y'all that $1 million and you spend it back. You can't ever ask for no more reparations. That's over. And we're still in control. But restoration is everything that's on the land and in the land belongs to you, and give it back. Get the hell up out of here. It's ours.
Woo! Hallelujah.
Correct.
Sheik, somebody says the Cleveland projects are being torn down. Thank you, Sister Faith. Oh, that might be a brother. Thank you, Faith Ministry. And I was born in Cleveland. That's great.
Hey, and everybody was tripping on the Chicago Bears and making them move over to Indiana, right? But I said every time you see an H and a C, it's a reversal. So C is Chicago, and they're moving to Hammond. Hammond, in Indiana. It's a reversal.
This is the reason why I love bringing you and some of the other chiefs on. And I see her Ducateers, Chief Rod Hayes, Chief Mac. You raise our vibrations. You're welcome good news in the middle of a war, in the middle of the storm, in the middle of hyperinflation, in the middle of high prices. And it keeps us balanced. In fact, it takes me beyond being balanced, and it's like raising me up. I appreciate that.
It's about to be so wonderful.
I almost don't want to make any moves. I've been thinking about certain things, like, do I downsize? Because things are getting so expensive. Do I do this? I kind of, my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, used to say, when you don't know what to do, do nothing. And I remember the old deacons that were in the military, they said, sometime you got to just, what they call it, march in time, just marching, just keep time, just march in place. Don't move forward. You don't want to get ahead of yourself. Don't fall back. But in the military, sometimes you just got to march in place. And I'm feeling like, hearing you speak, that I don't want to make any moves too fast. I don't want to make any fast decisions. I just want to mock time. I just want to be still, because I hear my mother-in-law's voice say, when you don't know what to do, do nothing. And I saw you do like this. What you affirm? You firm. Okay.
Affirm. Because see, right now, it's kind of like the Passover. And the Passover is to let God's wrath do what it need to do while you lay low and chill. He don't want you in the fray. He don't want you in the fray.
Okay.
You let this pass over, because this war ain't about you, but it is about you at the same time. Because it ain't about you from a state of violence. It's about you for, let us clear all this mess out so we can make you whole again.
And in the background, I can hear them saying, let my people go, just like Moses did.
That's it.
I keep saying the ancestors have returned. Like, I really think our ancestors are back. And I think some of us have come back from other timelines or whatever to help liberate ourselves and our bloodline. Like, let my people go. This has been going on for millennial, where you've kept the people enslaved, like all peoples, these beings that are in power. So I feel that. It's like you said, the proverbial blood. I'm just now putting words in your mouth. Has been applied to the doorpost, and when I see the blood, I'll pass over you, pass over you. So the blood that's applied to the door, whatever, I don't know, the bloodline. It's a bloodline war.
Correct.
When the death angel comes to deal with these beings in power, it's gonna pass. Come on, it's gonna pass right over you. Now you gonna stir me up and make me preach up in here.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And for those that have been having this so-called their heaven on earth,
Yeah.
and all this so-called privilege while we've been, under the 8 ball or behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to repent for their sins and ask the God's people for forgiveness.
Mm.
I mean, this is real. And we're forgiving people. We're like, okay, as long as you know not to do that crap ever again,
Mm-hmm.
we got you.
Mm-hmm. Sheik, someone in the chat, y'all's son said April 1st is New Year.
41.
Come on. And that's around Passover time. Passover is always around the spring.
And let it pass over.
Glory! You're a musician. I wish you had your keyboard or something so you can start playing that church music. We can start shouting and dancing.
You're funny. You're funny.
The Passover. Yep, the Passover is coming up. That's true. K. Martin. Gematria, happy 529, the bloodline of God. 529. The real New Year is coming up. Everybody that conspired against us and colluded will have to pay a price. Yeah, I feel like preaching in here. He got me stirred up. Talking about how the death angel and all this wickedness is going to pass over us. Sister Janine says, I'm sorry, or the Divine Waters of Truth. I have been marching in place and I was in the U.S. Army, so I can relate to this. Wow. So can you explain, is it what I said or is there more to it? The significance of marching in place. They will say, keep time. The old preachers who were in the military, the deacons, the old men, march, just keep time, march in place. Don't move to the left. Don't move to the right. Don't move forward. You're going ahead of yourself. Don't fall back. And don't rest because they can come out and get you. Just march in place. Keep time. Is there any more to that?
Keep your energy going and keep your mind focused, just in case you have to take a step forward.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
but
sir.
They don't want you to ever fall back. Falling back is putting yourself right back to where they want you to be. And they've been people been blowing my phone up, and I'm talking about these corporations.
Yeah.
Trying to get you back into contracts.
Oh.
Do you get a lot of strange calls?
All the time. I just don't answer them.
Yeah, I try not to, but you never know if it's actual business on the other
That's
line.
True. That's true.
To take the call. But they're just trying to bring you right back into a contract when they know that they need you to be able to stick around.
Okay.
And if you don't contract with them, they can't stick around. Their whole thing has to fall. So that's why they're blowing up everybody's phone.
When it all falls down. Jeffrey said March time in March. I know that's right. We marching in place in March. When it all falls down. Sometimes I think those musicians were actually sending us messages in their songs.
I believe that. But I also believe in Prince, 2000 party over Oop all the time, because tonight we're going to party like it's 1999. and when he said 1999, he was really talking about 999 as in the gold and as in silver.
0.999 pure gold, pure silver. Speaking of which, family, silver and gold, they had gone down. They're going up a little bit now. If you are interested in silver and gold, I always tell you to check out your local coin dealer. Now, it's going to be a little higher in price. A little premium is going to be higher than if you get it online, but you can take it in your possession. However, if you want to get the best prices in the industry, then use my affiliate. Contact Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company at 952-929-7006, or you can send an email to them at info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so you can get the best prices in the industry. We've been in business for over almost 40 years with about 10 billion or billions of dollars. We should be approaching $10 billion in sales with the A+ rating, with the Better Business Bureau. No customer complaints. Call 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Now, Sheik, you were talking about 0.999 as in silver and gold. Do you have any thoughts about the significance of silver and or gold?
We got to go back to God's money. God's money is, gold, silver, and copper. And that's going to happen.
Okay.
Everything it's no longer going to be backed by your labor. See, it's been backed by your labor since June 5th of 1933.
Okay.
And it's no longer that. It's going to be going back to real money.
Yes.
We're going to be able to have digital currency because you're not going to be really carrying around that much gold and silver. You're just backing what you have with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's going to be more of a digital currency anyway.
Well, we're digital now, aren't we?
We are to some degree because they already have changed out most of the systems everywhere to where, they're already getting you to be indoctrinated into the new system.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything is a learning curve. Just like when they had analog TVs, but then they said, okay, well, the government was giving everybody these free digital converter boxes.
I remember that. I do.
To train you to think, okay, no more analog, we're going digital. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
No more CDs, we're going digital. We got to get you to think different. So you don't have to go in the stores and buy a CD no more. That's over. We're going to go, you're going to get your music from social media for free, basically.
For free, that part.
Right.
For free. Now we don't have to pay. Some people don't trust, but some people don't trust the digital system. What do you say to the people in the chat?
I don't trust it at all, but until they can perfect it, and I don't know how you perfect it, because just like when they created Microsoft, you remember when they first started Microsoft, and then they had to buy all this malware and all this other stuff for the virus.
I remember. Yes.
For the same company who created the software created the malware. They created how to go infect your computer so you can buy the other products.
So to that, I would say, family, when you get digital assets and you get access to your trust, get some gold and silver, get some land, your farmland, buy some real estate.
Get you some tangible assets. I mean, anything that you can touch, a house, land, like she said, anything like that. That's wealth.
Create a business, invest in yourself, create a business.
Correct.
Educate yourself. And I'm not even talking about, it doesn't have to go through an institution, but teach, learn new skills.
We were just talking about homeschooling.
Yes.
And the whole homeschooling thing. Some people said, you think that's really going to work? And I'm like, I believe it's going to catch on because, it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Right.
And I think the more we get back to community, the women are going to get together and say, okay, we can raise these children. We can teach them. I'll teach them how to do math. You teach them language. You teach them arts. You teach them, some science. And then those children learn. But it's a village raising a child.
And you send them out with Uncle Rollo to learn auto mechanics, to work on the car. You send them out to Aunt Barbara Jean to do hair in her salon. You teach them vocations. You go in the kitchen with Big Mama or Grand and learn to bake food. So then you can have family bakeries. Go in the kitchen with your mama and your auntie and Chef Joseph and learn how to cook. So we really, like you said, we can teach them reading, math, what it used to be the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. And on top of that, vocations. That's what family businesses were. You just pass down that information, right? That And you have family, you have bakeries that's been about 5, 6 generations because that big mama was a baker and she taught all the kids children how to bake, and they just carried on the business. You had the shoemaker down the street. We used to go to shoe repair shops when I was young. You didn't buy shoes every cycle. You had 3 pair of shoes: church shoes, school shoes, and play shoes, and they lasted for a couple years because mom made sure we went to the shoe repair shop where they put a tack on the bottom of the shoe, fixed the rubber if it broke, got new shoestrings. We need to bring back that. So I'm with you. It takes a village.
Yeah.
And we're going to teach them how to do all the things that we know. We all have skills. Yep. So we're going to teach them the subjects, and we're going to teach them vocation. If you have a farm, the farms used to be family farms. I think some of them still are.
Oh yeah. But see, and even with that, oh boy, I'm touching on a subject that some people may not want to deal with right now, but it's going to be more like, men are probably going to have more than one wife, because to be able to have a village or have a farm and all that, it's going to be like how it used to be, where you had more than one wife, because the only way you could have an army, the only way you could defend your land, and the only way you could farm your land, you couldn't have one child, once a year. You had to have maybe about 4 or 5 wives to have 4 children a year. See what I'm saying? And that way it builds up the community for your farming and for your warriors. And for your teachers, which are the women. But it may, I don't know, because we've been, in our heads, we've been thinking differently. And I don't know if that's gonna fly too well with some people. But at some point, it's gonna have to get back to some of the things that were original to us, natural to us. And that's why the Mormon are that way, because they still practice those kind of things. Now, you got to get ready for whatever's about to come, because what the world was is no more. Whatever the world was over your last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or whatever, that's no more. Get ready for a new beginning, and get ready for traditions that are coming back too. Oh, I wanted to bring this up too. The reason why they had ice over there in Minnesota, and Minnesota was such a big deal. That's where Wakanda is.
Minnesota?
Yeah, look it up.
What? What am I looking exactly? Where is Wakanda?
Wakanda, Minnesota. Wakanda is nowhere in Africa. They have about 3, maybe 6 cities in the Americas called Wakanda.
Wow.
Do you see it?
I do. I'm gonna bring it up. I do. Come on up. I'm trying to.
And that's why they call it Wakanda forever.
Hey. Let's see. Now
I love when your face look like you just discovered something new.
Wakanda, Minnesota. That one doesn't. It says it in the heading, but it won't say. I couldn't find it when I brought it up. Wow. Okay, let me just bring up the Google. What Google says.
Yeah. Now it's spelled differently in some places, but it's still phonetically Wakanda.
Wakanda, okay. Wakanda, Minnesota, Wilmar Lakes area. Ooh-wee. Wakanda Virtual Academy. Wow, Minnesota's legacy. Get out of town.
Get out of town.
Lake Wakanda, Minnesota, USA.
How you like that?
I guess they were letting us know without letting us know.
Right.
Somebody says there's a Wakanda, Illinois. There's also Wakanda, Illinois.
They're correct. I told you it's about 6 of them out here.
Some of the sisters are saying, they don't know about that sharing stuff. The Awakening says, I'm not open to polygamy. I'll pray for my body to be able to reproduce multiple children for my husband. They're saying Big Mama used to have 20 children.
It's all good. And this is not one of those things that's going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take maybe 2 or 3 generations before we ever see anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where people are starting to adopt certain traditions that we once had.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, yes, some of the women will have, you're right, multiple children. You said when you get to 100 years old, you'll have 100 children, Sister Carolyn. Well, if there's, when we go through the light chambers or the med beds, we will be able to live a lot longer, and we'll be able to regenerate like our body parts and become younger, have more children. That's really exciting, all those things. So, even if we do return back to a time of polygyny, I don't think it'll be like everybody, and I don't think it'll be forced. It'll probably be, this is me speaking, in certain situations. For example, what do you do if you have several women and only a few men? The community might come together and say, we want all these women to have protection. We want all these women to be provided for. I'm just saying that could happen. And then it may be an agreement. Well, yeah, we don't want this to happen where some people don't have provision or protection. You might be like, I have a nephew that has 2 wives and they get along perfectly. It's not something that I'm interested in doing. I'm just not there. But my nephew got 2 wives. They have lots of children. I see them working together and smiling and laughing together. They are honestly the happiest family I've seen in a long time. And the children are well behaved. My mother had well behaved children, so I've seen it with one woman and not sharing, but I even saw him take one of his nieces that was struggling educationally with disabilities, and that child is now in gifted programs. Now, I'm not, trying to say I'm for or against anything. I think people should do what works for them. If you want multiple wives in certain places in Asia, it's about what's sustainable in certain places of Asia, because bloodlines only have small land masses. The brothers will share one wife, and they don't even look down upon it because they only have enough land for that family. If multiple brothers took on multiple women, the land wouldn't sustain them. So they all have babies by this one woman, and they don't understand this whole fighting thing, jealousy thing. They take turns. It's a system. So it's all about what's sustainable to the people in the culture. Then you have societies where you have walking marriages, where the woman chooses a mate and the man could choose her too, and they stay together for a time, and then when it's over, it's over. Kind of like what we practice now, serial monogamy. He lives in his own house with his family. She lives in her own house with her family. Walking marriages, look it up. And the children stay in the home with the woman, and her bloodline takes care of the children. He lives in his family home, and he doesn't live with that family, but he's often going back and forth to war anyway. So it's about what's sustainable, in my humble opinion. And then you had kings, right, that had money and wealth, that had more wives because, hey, they were the king. They can do what they want. I'm just talking right now.
Well, once you have your crown back or your corona back, you're gonna be able to do whatever it is you want to do, because you are the law.
Come on, Sheik.
Yeah, you are the law. And the woman is really going to be the one that's the law. Yeah. And the man carries out the orders of that law.
I love it.
He reinforces the law.
That's why I think it would be the women in polygynous situations. I think it would be the women that would say, okay, we don't want these women or these young ladies to be uncovered. So you got the wealth, You're a strong, viable man. You're gonna take care of all these women. These. That's just me. If I were in a polygynous situation, I would rather do the choosing. I wouldn't want my husband to do the choosing because I don't think he would choose somebody necessarily that I could get along with. I'm just talking outside of my neck, you know. But like you said, the women will give the law and the men will execute the law.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we're still talking about a ways before some people get used to even thinking like that.
That's true. That's
so
true.
We just want the land back right now.
That's it. We want everything that was stolen from us returned.
We want the land back. We want the system that oppressed us to be done away with. So that's the courts. That's the police department. You know, you want all that stuff to be done away with. You know, some of these other agencies that deliberately kept fathers away from the children.
Yes.
You know, we got to get rid of that. They're now changing laws where women can't trick trick the men anymore to just have them signing a birth certificate when they know damn well that he ain't even the father. They're making them have to have a DNA test before anyone gets on that birth certificate.
I'm down. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I've seen children be like crushed when they find out that the man that they thought was their father wasn't their father. And then you know, so
it's happening. I know people right now who thought dude was my daddy all these years and then found out the hard way. So all that's being changed, making women be more held accountable. They're probably going to make it harder for women just to, you know, so-called get the bag. You know how they target these NBA players and NFL players or whatever. They're going to make it harder. You know, if you do that kind of stuff, be prepared to, you're probably not going to get the kind of child support that you thought you would get.
Oh, he's changing that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to come back down to realistic numbers of what it costs to really raise a child.